Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes. Thank you. Studio audience, you are so good to me. This episode is actually going to be a short episode. I say that, but this time I'm for real, because I be saying that. And I'm also eating dinner while I eat, so I wanted y'all to have dinner with me. Also, I'm really busy and I almost didn't have time to record this episode. Usually, it's Wednesday night, and usually my YouTube video would already be uploaded and all that good stuff, but your girl is booked and busy, for real. I am really trying to find the balance of being busier, because I have my subcontracting clients that I meet with Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I have clients of my own that I'm working with. And it's so crazy because I was thinking about how I'm living in answered prayers. I really have been praying for more business and praying for financial increase, praying for more clients, and I have all of that. Not the way that I thought I would have it, but I'm not tripping because I still have it. New listeners, thanks for tuning in. Let's go back to that. New episodes drop every Thursday. For all my regular supporters, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can just see how I'm just kind of in a rush, but I was really just thinking about, I have been thinking a lot lately about how wow, I'm really living in my answered prayers. I remember in December thinking dang, should I just get a regular full-time job again, because things are not going as fast as I want them to, and while it's not like I had a ton of bills, I just wanted to be making more money. And I'm so glad I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad that when I felt like the Lord say, you're not going to need that I listened and I trusted and I waited and I did everything I could to have a solid foundation for my company. Because while yes, I am busier, way busier, you know what I'm saying? It's I can sustain all the things that I'm doing, that I was doing. So sure, the YouTube video is not quite up, but this episode will be up on time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, nothing is missing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dropping the ball on anything. Um, and it's just crazy because I am a lot busier, and it's kind of suddenly, because I got three subcontracting clients, kind of boom, boom, boom. And the thing with that is I meet with them 3 times a week. So if these were regular coaching clients for my company, I can't imagine somebody wanting to meet with me 3 times a week, because they'll have to pay for that. But then also it's kind of I don't know, but yeah, I meet with these people 3 times a week, and it's just Monday, Wednesday, Friday is that's kind of where the focus is with that. And then I do everything else around that. And I wasn't ready. Not I'm failing and but it's okay, girl, you gotta, yesterday, right now, me recording this, I could have, yeah, this could have been the week that y'all didn't get an episode. Now you know that's not going to happen, but this could have been the week because I actually just got done recording with someone, but that's going to be for next week's episode. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm actually trying to get ahead. So by me doing this, that'll help me be a little bit ahead of the curve so I'm not doing things last minute like I am right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like really having to learn, readjust. Every level, there's always growth. There's like, even when you get there, quote unquote. So, like, I'm really at the place in life where I know I'm not going back to the 9 to 5. I have no desire to in December when I said that, just because owning my time, man, owning my time is such an amazing thing. Like, owning my time is like, it's worth all the sacrifices, all the tears, all the whatever. Owning my time is worth it. You know what I'm saying? Being able to have my work day go how I want it to go, as far as like with my subcontracting clients, I don't have any appointments before 11, and I probably really won't schedule anyone before 11 because I need my time in the morning by myself. You know what I'm saying? And right now, I'm not at the place where getting up too much more before 6, even sometimes that's a struggle because I have late nights, you know what I'm saying? And I have to get sleep. So, like, getting up at 7 or 8 is actually pretty good for me just because who knows what time I went to bed the night before. I'm not usually going to bed 10, 11, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes 1 is good. So, because I have, whatever, I don't meet with clients before 11. I don't want to feel rushed trying to go meet with somebody. I want to, be able to do everything I need to do. And so it's a very interesting season right now because I'm really, like I said, I'm just, my mind is blown that I'm like, wow, I don't have to go back to the 9 to 5. Like, I'm not. I couldn't even fathom it at this point because I'm so far removed from it. Like, I don't even know how I used to work a full-time job and podcast and run a company. Now, granted, I wasn't doing as much as I'm doing now, and I'm doing things that I hadn't even planned on offering, some of the services that I'm offering. So, like, I couldn't, you know what I'm saying, be doing what I'm doing right now, but it's such a dope season that I'm in. And I yeah, y'all, like, I guess this is just a celebration episode. Like, I don't usually, like, other people will tell me they're proud of me, or other people will talk about what I'm doing or whatever. But I I'm in a celebrate a milestone mindset right now. Like, I talk about the importance of celebrating milestones because you should, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm nowhere near, there are still other goals that I'm trying to make happen. There's always going to be goals, excuse me, that we are trying to make happen or we're working towards or whatever. For sure for me, because that's just how I'm wired. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I achieve a goal, then it's like, okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? So, like, launch the company, do this, do that. Okay, now I'm to the point where between subcontracting, but the crazy thing about the subcontracting is it's coaching clients. So it's literally a service that I provide. It's just I'm getting it, like, someone else is filtering the clients to me and I don't have to, like, necessarily look for them. You know what I mean? So I'm to the point though where it's like, okay, I can financially sustain myself. Like, I'm actually about to, like, have set pay dates and all this stuff, which is important because, with client work, it's not set pay date. Although I do have my first, I think I told y'all this. I have a monthly content creation client, so, like, every month I'm creating content for them. So that's super dope. She loves what I've created. I might share it on my personal Facebook page because I'm, like, from her social media. So, like, obviously I'm not going to post anything that I created for her because it's hers. But as she's posting it on her brand's page, I've really, like, I keep saying like I want to share it, but I should. I am proud of what I made. You know what I mean? But anyways, like I'm celebrating, y'all. Like my birthday's coming up too. Um, yeah, like 42. I'm excited about turning 42 because y'all already know how I said I don't like the age that I'm at. It's just I don't know why, but also because in 42, like that all of like 41 is the last age of me having worked a 9 to 5. Like I'm not going back to working a 9 to 5. And when I say I'm not doing something or I'm going to do something or whatever, and I've really been praying for like God to align my desires with his. So I know I'm not just speaking some stuff, just say like I'm not going back to the 9 to 5. So like at the age of 41, that this is the last age that I will live that I will be working a 9 to 5. And that means 42 is all me and my dreams. And it's always been dope just to have a podcast. Like I remember I was just happy to have my own platform. I've told y'all how I've always been a part of other people's stuff. So like when we release the SendTamCash videos, and that's us consistently releasing a poem from one of us every week, and we get together and we do that and we do whatever. Like I've always been grateful for just that because as you can see, I stay consistent and I talk about whatever I want to talk about on my show and I do whatever I want with it. And I'm not moved by the downloads. My downloads ebb and flow. So they'll be lower, they'll be higher. People will listen later. I don't even trip off all that because I know I've been off track with podcasts because I've been busier and haven't had time. But and it's a different kind of busy because for before busy was I'm doing mindless tasks that I don't really need to. Now I'm like going and meeting with people and I can't be listening to a podcast while I'm supposed to be coaching somebody. You know what I'm saying? So like I know I'm off track with that. I don't trip off that. You know what I'm saying? This is for me, and because of that, I'm not moved. Like I do what I want. I have the freedom to whatever I want the episode to be, and I'm becoming even freer and freer in that. And with blogging, so last week I talked about how I thought I had writer's block, but I really didn't. What I really had to do was just get out of my head about it needing to be a certain way or a certain thing, or I don't know how I got to that space, but I'm realizing I just need to write whatever comes out is what comes out. I can write, so I'm not worried about not being able to write because I can write. So I had to just kind of get out of my head with it needing to be a certain thing, and I'm also kind of shifting even like the one I wrote this week, which I did write as soon as this episode that I recorded last week was over. I was that last week? Yeah, I had a solo episode last week. Had to look. Um Let me eat some more food before my food gets cold. I said y'all was gonna have dinner from me and I ain't not took not one bite since but I don't want my food to get cold. Um but I'm very blessed to have the platforms, and I realized with blogging I had to like shift it to like this week's blog for example was inspired by something somebody else went through, but it's something I've been through before. So just opening my mind to writing about different things in different ways and not feeling like it has to be a certain thing because no one ever asked me to write a blog. No one asked me to podcast. That's why I don't ask anybody's opinion about what my episode should be about, or I just if I get an idea, I do it and I go with it. And if you're a newer podcaster or a content creator or even maybe one who's been for a while, man, do you. Like, don't. The best advice that I got, shout out to Dan. I don't even know if he officially podcasts anymore, but he had a show. He actually had like two shows, a few screws loose, I think. I think that's what it was called. And then another one that I can't remember the name of it. This is what happens when I don't have notes about nothing. But it had talked about like legal stuff, right? I don't remember what it was called. He had those podcasts. But the whole reason I brought him up is when I first started following him on Twitter. This is actually the reason I started following him. So you know how Twitter, you can see anybody's tweets. He tweeted something like advice for podcasters. And one of the things that he said that has stuck with me ever since, and I'm so glad I saw this early in podcasting, is don't let the downloads dictate. This isn't verbatim, but like, don't let the download numbers dictate what you do. And I'm so glad that I keep that in my mind because, like I said, my numbers be all over the place sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Even YouTube videos. But I don't let that, like, when I have, prime example, for whatever reason, the episode that I had with Autumn, and I think it's because I named it Celebrity Something, had a whole bunch of views on YouTube. Like, more, like a lot, right? I don't think any other of my videos, like one video, has ever had that many views. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all got, something from what we talked about, especially as she was talking about becoming a homeowner and the advice she gave with that or whatever. But that's not going to dictate, like, then I'm not chasing after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not chasing, like, I want people to listen, yes. So don't hear that I'm saying I don't care if y'all listen, because I appreciate y'all, but I want y'all to, this is why, yes, I always acknowledge my new listeners first, because I want y'all to understand what the show is about, because it's always going to be about my life and the ways I'm trying to grow in some form or fashion. Even if I have a guest, it's something that is relatable to my life, right? So I want y'all to know that. But the regular listeners, like, I appreciate y'all because y'all come back. Like, people who tell me they listened to my show since when I was in the closet, some of y'all don't even know that I used to be recording in my closet, didn't even have visuals. Sometimes I miss those days because then I don't have to, like, look at myself or think about what I'm wearing or none of that stuff. And it's not like I really care about what I'm wearing, but sometimes if I'm recording back to back, but it's supposed to be for a different week, then I got to change shirts or whatever, so that, because it's me. Nobody says I have to, but that's just a me thing, to have different visuals for every week or whatever. Sometimes I miss that. You know what I'm saying? But when people tell me stuff like that, or or even like people who are not podcasters, like my friends and family, that'll say, "Oh, I listened to your episode," or whatever. Like, man, I appreciate y'all, because you literally could be spending your time doing anything else besides listening to my show. But if y'all notice, I don't even ask y'all opinion on what should the episode be about. I don't really like when something is mine. Now, I do look up stuff on how to make stuff happen, or especially like thinking business, you know what I'm saying? I do research, I whatever, but I don't really ask anybody like, "Hey, how should I do this?" or "What do you want to hear from me?" or "What do you whatever," because this is my show. And I don't mean that rudely, but this is a therapeutic outlet for me. Like, me having this creative outlet, me recognizing my growth, me being able to leave something behind for my kids, so that when I'm gone, not only will they have my journals that they're going to read through, but they'll have episodes where they can see me talking or if they prefer to listen to the podcast. So far, as of right now, we're at 134 weeks. It's not 134 episodes, it's 134 weeks because I only number the weeks. I don't number the bonus episodes. So we have, however many episodes, I don't even know. I'm sure I could find out somewhere, but that's why I always say weeks. So y'all, they have 134 weeks of content that they could, and there's gonna come a time when I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what this is for. Every now and then I like I know what I wanted to talk to y'all about here. So as of when I made these notes, so I made these notes on June 1st. So as of June 1st, I had 237 YouTube uploads. Now that has increased a lot in the last whenever I launched my company, because then I started uploading the company videos, then I started uploading PinTamZ videos. So like that has increased a lot in the last 9 months. But I have 237 YouTube uploads. The first upload was December 29th, 2019. It was audio only. So if you go to YouTube, podcast episodes only go back as far as episode 7, because back then I wasn't recording visuals on StreamYard like I am, and Headliner or whoever I use was creating a video for me, but it didn't have visuals. It just had audio and whatever graphic or whatever that my podcast cover art. And so Headliner did that for me, and you couldn't backdate or whatever from whenever I started for the free plan, and I only pay for what I have to when it comes to all this stuff. I'm so annoyed. I have been fighting on paying for Zoom, and I'm gonna actually have to go ahead and pay for it. I've actually been using StreamYard as like a meeting space for some people. Don't record it or anything, but because I'm already paying for it, but it's kind of becoming problematic. So I'm not gonna record my podcast on Zoom or anything like that, but I am gonna have to pay for Zoom because now the free plan is only 40 minutes, and for my consultations, that's definitely more than 40 minutes. For my coaching clients, it's at least an hour for my business coaching, so not the people that I meet with face to face. So like Zoom ain't gonna work for free, so I gotta pay for it, and I'm so annoyed. But my whole point is, back with Headliner, you couldn't backdate or whatever. So that starts from episode 7, December 29th, 2019. My first video upload was October 10th, 2020. So about 10 months later. And what's interesting is I watched some of it the other day because I was organizing my YouTube channel. So that's how this came about. Like I created 3 playlists, podcast episodes, PinTamZ, and leadership development and entrepreneurship essentials was already there. So I already had those 2, but I decided to go ahead and create a podcast playlist just because then people can see the 3 main things that you can come to my channel, especially when you like first go to the channel page or whatever. And so that's what made me, you have to go back through and add each one individually, whatever. And it's crazy because I watched some of my first video upload, and I used to be so like, I just remember like I don't even know where to look. Whoopty woo, had a different camera then, and just all these things, and just background was different. Everything was different in my life. Like, let's even go there. And then I've been reflecting on just how much has changed and how much I've grown since then. And I remember when I left my job, the last day, somebody was like, you can come back. And I'm like, I hope I don't have to. And they're like, and I know they meant well. They're like, just letting me know that you're always welcome back or whatever. And they're like, because things don't always happen the way we want them to or whatever. And they were right. Things didn't happen the way that I wanted to. They actually happened better than I wanted to. And I'm glad that while I get what I want in the sense of I run my company, I'm coaching people, and there's other stuff that I'm working on getting more into. I've really learned I'm not really a tell people my plans type person. There's very few people that know what moves I'm trying to make ahead of time, because what I've learned is when you're building something, so many people will speak, and it's not even like they're trying to be malicious, but like if maybe they tried something and it didn't work, or they don't understand the vision, or they don't understand whatever. So many people will just like speak death over your dreams. I remember, and this has been a thing where if I feel like I'm supposed to do it, or I know I can make it happen, I don't care what your experience was. You can't tell me, like, you're not going to change my mind. There are people that try to talk me, and I feel like I've talked about this on here before. Out of going to the college that I went to, there are people that try to talk me out of going into the accelerated program that I went to, because I was already like working full time, raising kids. I couldn't I didn't really want to devote all this time to college. So I did the accelerated program. It was 5 week semester. Shout out to me being a writer, because never had to take a test. I hate taking tests. I just had to write a paper every 5 weeks. That's nothing for me. I literally would write a lot of my papers the night before they do. And when I say papers, I mean like 10 to 15 pages that I would write the night before it was due. You know what I'm saying? So should you be procrastinating? I don't know that I'm not going to discourage that, because that was my claim to fame in college, and that's how some people function. I have had to become different as an entrepreneur, where I can't procrastinate and I really need to be more ahead of stuff and more strategic and whatever. But so many people, I can think of three people in particular that were like important people in my life at that time, that tried to talk me out of doing the path that I went to ultimately get my bachelor's degree. And two of them, because they tried to do the program and they couldn't do it. What that got to do with me? Like, we are not the same, you know what I'm saying? And I don't say that pridefully at all, but we're not the same, you know what I'm saying? And so I've really gotten to this place where when I have plans, I don't really talk about them really with anybody. I'm not going to say anybody, but there's very few people that I'll talk about stuff with. And if you've shown me that you're somebody who, when I mention something, that you're like, you know what I'm saying? Then you won't hear nothing else from me, because I don't need you speaking death over my dreams, my goals, my whatever you want to call them. And that's my encouragement to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't deserve to hear what your plans are, or need to hear what your plans are. And it's not even, I'm not even talking about people being malicious and haters, because hopefully you don't have those people in your like inner circle. But I'm saying even people that are like close friends, that they don't get the vision, or they tried and then they couldn't, and so they mean well. You know what I'm saying? They don't mean it from a bad place, but you don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of where I'm at, working on a lot of stuff, whatever. But at the same time, right now, I've really been like, wow, like I really did that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not done at all at by any means, but it's like I'm just getting started. My company isn't even a year old. My company's birthday is June 29th. I mean, not June 29th, July 29th. So that's when I launched last year, July 29th. So that's when like the year, whatever. And a lot has changed. And I always wanted to get to the place of like not doing both the full-time job and my company. Like, that was the goal, but I didn't think it was going to happen as quickly as it did. And then the way that, like, I love the subcontracting work that I do. Yes, I'm working with youth, you know what I'm saying? So they're teenagers, But y'all know I have a heart for teenagers. Like I used to work with teenagers. I used to do youth ministry, and I took a break because I really had to focus on Janae. But now that Janae has graduated and she's doing better and she's just older, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, now we're back at it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so crazy that I'm seeing there's so much knowledge I have because I like I'm very much a praying person. Y'all know that, and so I'm always praying for my company that I will get the clients that I'm supposed to have. So like, not everybody that has either come to a consultation or even wanted to schedule something or reached out or whatever. Not everyone has become an actual client, and so I'm very much about praying that I have the people that I'm supposed to. And so it's been really cool with the subcontracting work that I have, I should say, that like just there's so much that I know that is helpful to their goals, their whatever. So it's been really dope. And to be back working with the next generation, like it just, man, I needed that break, but and I can also tell I'm different too. Like I've grown. I mean, 4 years ago is the last time I professionally worked with youth. That's when I stopped 4 years ago. And then I want to say I was still doing youth ministry maybe for about another year. So for like the last 3 years, I haven't done anything. And it's funny because it's who I am. So like, I'm not surprised I'm back doing this because there was a point whenever I was like, man, should I start youth ministry back up and I didn't really feel like I was supposed to do that. I like this better because I've always been a fan of like one-on-one investing in someone, like giving them specifically what they need. Group stuff is cool and I've done that, you know what I'm saying? But there's nothing like giving one person and investing in them and specifically tailoring it to them and their needs. And so yeah, this is such a dope season. And it's just like starting, you know what I'm saying? Like I know we're not at the end of it. And now what I am gonna say that I'm working on, and some of this doesn't affect some of y'all because some of y'all don't live where I live anyway, but I am really gonna start working on getting inventory for Melon Intoxicate because I really want to like do pop-up shops. I have an opportunity at the business summit that I'm doing the breakout session presentation at. I can be a vendor, so I'm gonna make sure that I have some inventory so that I can, you know, get some sales. You know, people, they don't know stuff is out there until it's out there. And then I'm working on getting some more shirts of mine and finally going to sit down and like design these other lines that I have like had these designs been sitting on them for a minute, and it's time, you know what I'm saying? So I am working on that. There's always stuff, but I've gotten more. It's not like I really talk, well, I'll talk about some stuff on here, but holding certain things closer and like more to myself just because I mean, some of y'all might not want me to succeed. I don't know why you listen to my show. Maybe you're just being nosy. I don't know. There are people I'm realizing it's, and that's always weird to me. Like some of y'all been knowing that, but then some people are also very, is cynical the word I'm looking for? Very negative, and they think everybody's out to get them. I'm not like that at all. I usually believe the best about people until you show me otherwise. So because I'm starting to see, you know what I'm saying, how people be moving in this world and whatnot. That's why I'm saying I see some people, they don't want you to succeed. Some people don't want you to do more than what they can do or could do or whatever. That ain't got nothing to do with me though. Like whatever, my mom has always told me that whatever I set my mind to do, I can do. she has told me that she still tells me that to this day when I talk to her about my plans, she sometimes is like, I don't even know what that means, but you're excited, so I'm excited. Because I'll tell her about like the technical side of things. I'm always showing Kayliana all the Adobe documents that I created because me and Adobe, like, we're engaged at this point. Like, I love Adobe. We was having some problems for a little while, but the way that the documents that I'm able to create and self-taught, you know what I'm saying? But the more you use something, you learn it. And like I'm I'm the kind of person that learns and retains information by like doing. So I'm allowing myself with certain things the freedom to just dive in and figure it out instead of like researching like I do for other stuff. So there's a balance. There is some stuff that I try to know about first before I begin, but something like Adobe, I just kind of dove in and figured out. And it kind of started with me just creating Word documents and then saving them as a PDF, but then creating fillable documents. Like I create so many different things. Some stuff I don't even necessarily need to do it, but it helps me to be more efficient with everything that I'm going on. So it's worth it to sit there, create the document, and then it's something I could have forever. You know what I'm saying? So I tell my family a lot of the most random stuff, and they, thank God, they listen. Whoever I ever, you know what's crazy? Okay, I really be lying. I thought it was gonna be a short episode. I gotta stop telling y'all that lie when I say it's gonna be a short episode because every time I say that, it never is. But um, I was also okay. Y'all didn't need to hear me chewing like that. I'm trying to eat this food, but I was also thinking about how, and it's been over a year from when I was doing the online dating, and I remember the different men that I met, those that, you know, maybe we talked for a month or whatever, that we actually talked about where I was at and what I was doing. And it's just so crazy because I was saying I'm working towards getting a company started and I'm taking these courses, and I can think back to the different men that I told that to, and now I'm doing everything was set out, like everything I set out to do, and then some stuff that I didn't even know that it was going to be a thing that I'm very grateful that it is. So I've just been very reflective. June is always a tough month because of Father's Day, the girl's dad's death anniversary. There's also some other stuff going on, you know, that's just making it me think about it even that much more. But like, you know, I'm very reflective this June, and I'm just like, man, I like, yeah, Father's Day is coming up. It's Sunday, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, but it's dope that the girls' sisters are, well, two of their sisters are going to spend Father's Day with us. I usually try to for like Father's Day and their dad's death anniversary and his birthday for sure, because those are the days that are like specific to him. I usually try to do something. It's usually like, let's go to dinner, or I'll cook and we'll have cake and ice cream or just whatever dessert or whatever, and like to make it a celebration. And so it's kind of cool that for the first time their sisters are going to be a part of that. So I'm just excited, and with them, the older two sisters of theirs, I'm grateful that we're like building bonds and stuff like that, that like I said really became more, I guess solidified is a good word, when Janae, her graduation weekend, and they came, and we've just really talked a lot since then. And We're definitely, while I'm still at my mom's, just gonna do like once a month, have them over. Well, I had already said I was gonna do once a month intentional dinners anyway whenever I move, but I decided I'm gonna just go ahead and start while I'm still here, and my mom is fine with it. But then once I move, I've told them, I mean, y'all can literally just come over whenever, and so um, yeah, it's a time to be alive right now. There's a lot going on that I'm excited about, and there are still frustrations, but I'm not going to talk about that this episode. This episode, I am going to talk about all of the things that I am very grateful for. I just feel my kids laugh at me because the littlest thing can happen, and I'll be like, I just feel so blessed. But we've gone through a lot, so I really, excuse me, try to, when good things happen, it could be something little like Janae bought some Welch's fruit snacks and she gave me a pack, like, but it was like the bigger pack, and she just gave it to me. It could be something like that that I it doesn't take much for me to feel appreciated or thought of or grateful, because what I also know is that life be life in. You know what I'm saying? Like, this last 9 months of starting a business was the most insane season of my life ever. Like, I made a lot of sacrifice of my pride. That was one of the biggest things. But I really poured my all and to building my dream or whatever, or achieving my goal. I don't like the word, I don't know why. If you ever pay attention, I always talk about goals. I don't like to talk about dreams because dreams change, and they say a dream with a plan in place becomes a goal, and you are more likely to achieve a goal than a dream. I mean, yes, no, I get it, but for whatever reason, for many different reasons, I don't like to say my dreams, but I really poured my all in to achieve my goals. My goal was to not have to go back to the traditional 9 to 5, like not even a part time. Like, I just did not want to be restricted by somebody else's, you have to be here this time. Having to meet with my coaching clients, the subcontracting ones, I set that schedule. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we meet at agreed upon times that work for both of our schedule. So I have to meet with them so many times per week. Okay, sure. But I don't have to be like, once that hour or whatever is done, then we're done. Once we finished whatever we've been working on, like, I don't have to show up just to show up. You know what I'm saying? So that was my goal, to not have to go back to a 9 to 5. I remember thinking, if I remember telling my mom, that I told her and my dad, I told them that I have always poured my all into everywhere that I've worked. That's why, like, I would get promotions and bonuses and raises and all these things. I've always been an excellent employee, and that's not me saying that pridefully. If you speak to my previous employers, they will tell you the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But how much more am I going to be pouring into my own company? Because, like, I push myself in ways that I didn't even know I could, because I have to. Like, if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And while nobody established these like deadlines and these things, such as like content or whatever, so we're not talking about client projects. I'm talking about like some of the content I create for my company or just whatever. Nobody set these things. But now that I've established a pattern and a habit and a standard for myself, and I need to be consistent with that, it has taken some, sacrifice of whatever. Like, I am quick to not talk to people now on Saturday, but this is why my rest day, Saturday, this is why I don't work on Saturday at all. And this is why I have to have at least for sure one rest day per week, every week. And that's why it's such a priority to me, because then on Saturday I could do whatever I want. If I want to do nothing, if I want to watch TV, that's the day I usually will binge stuff. I mow the lawn while it's summertime, but I'll binge watch whatever or do nothing. I don't even do laundry on Saturday anymore because I want to do as few things that I don't like as possible. Like, I actually like mowing the lawn. So for me, that's not work. Like, that's exercise, which I enjoy, but like, I like mowing the lawn and then looking at it and being like, yeah, I did that. And I cannot stand the fact that one of my neighbors, or I should say my mom's neighbors, has the Amazon jungle in his yard. I don't know what he got going on over there, but it irritates me because it's literally next door, and I'm like, bruh, what is happening? But I look at our yard and I'm like, I did that. You know what I'm saying? And so I enjoy that. I don't. That's the only. If you want to say work to me, that's not work. I don't do anything else on Saturdays, but that's why those days are so important to me, because I work really hard 6 days a week. Like Sunday, I do work on Sunday if I have to. You know what I'm saying? That's not a rest day for me because I serve on the creative team at my church. So either way, I have to do some. It's get to because I choose to do it, but like there's some responsibility on Sunday, so that's not a rest day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is where I'm at. I'm very, 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 very grateful. I've really been like just amazed that this is the life I get to live, and it's starting to catch up financially, where I'm starting to have like that consistent money coming in, not a nice project here and a nice project there, and little stuff, sprinkled wherever. Like, now we're getting to some consistency in addition to the sprinkle me, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited because y'all know I gotta leave my mom's house. I'm not trying to be here forever, but how could I have left if income wasn't consistent? You know what I'm saying? So we're finally to that place. Obviously, y'all will know when I move before, besides the people that like I see in real life, because I don't really be putting stuff on social media all like that. So y'all will know when I move. It'll be when the background changes. I'm not moving my desk around anymore. So when the background changes again, that's when you'll know. We'll decide if I'm going to have the background blurred out. I honestly only have it blurred out because I don't feel like taking her family pictures down every time I record. And y'all don't need to see my nieces, and I think that's my brother and his family. Y'all don't need to see them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason I have the background blurred out right now. But we'll see what I do once I move. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry that I lied to you if you thought it was going to be a short episode, but you probably already knew that I didn't know what I was talking about. I really do be thinking that it's going to be a short episode, so I don't ever lie on purpose. I really need to stop thinking that I'm a short-winded person, because once I get to talking, I keep talking. So I don't even know what I'd be thinking. But thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all come back next week. I have a guest. It's going to be Shivani from Self Care After Dark podcast, and she's going to be doing giving y'all some self-care tips. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is the professional, so I wanted to she gave me some good insight and some tips that I can even use with clients on helping them with self-care, because self-care is important at every stage in life. So make sure y'all come back next week for that. I have been wanting to have her on for a while, so I'm super excited that I came up with a topic for her, because y'all already know I got to have a topic for whoever I want to come on. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition, another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for